Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. In today's exciting episode, I take the lobster fabric and I make it into a bolero jacket. It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket. So a long time ago in a galaxy far away, actually it wasn't that long ago and it was right over there, I made the lobster dress, but I got so carried away I forgot to actually use the lobster fabric in the lobster dress. So anyway, then I made these two versions of the Simplicity S9124 jacket A. The daisy jacket is the last one I made and I love it, but it was a little bit baggy, so I thought I'd take some of the ease out of it and change the side seam a little bit. And also I felt like the sleeves were a bit too big, wide and too baggy, so I've shortened them and I've made them a little slimmer as well. And originally I folded up all these sequins and punched holes in them and got them all ready so that I could use them on this lobster fabric, but now I've changed my mind because I remembered I've got these animal beads that, yes, they are childish beads, but I don't care. I think they're cute. And I've just, I bought them because they were multicolored and I liked the pink ones and the yellow ones and the green ones, but I never thought of but you got the blue ones and the purple ones as well. And it's just occurred to me that I could use them up on this. Anyway, so because I'm using the heavier beads, I need 2 layers of the netting in my structural layer. So I cut out 1 set in the outer fabric, the lobster, 2 sets of the structural layer, the neon lining, as well as 1 set of the crepe fabric, which is going to be the lining. And I counted out the animal beads and I didn't quite have enough, so I've added some hearts and some other sort of tiley shaped ones as well. So I had to count them to make sure. So that is done. So now it is time to get on with making the jacket. It has a back piece, 2 front pieces and the 2 sleeves. So I matched up the structural layer and the 2 structural layers and the outer fabric, pinned them together. Then I pinned the 2 fronts to the back just at the shoulders. So I have to machine sew this line here, and once I've sewn that, then I attach the sleeve. So I also had to put all 3 layers of the right sleeve, all 3 layers of the left sleeve, pin them together so that they're ready to attach. So here you go. See, it just takes a little bit of time, but once they're all pinned together, it's ready to go. So now I take these over to the sewing machine, but I also have to pin together the lining pieces. So it's just the same. There's a back piece, 2 front pieces, left and right. Pin them together at the shoulders. Once I've machine sewn them, I'll open it up and I'll attach the left sleeve to the left and the right sleeve to the right. So here we go. I've done the machine sewing at the shoulders, and then you pin back the splay open and pin back the seam allowance, and then you pin on the sleeves and you sew them into place. Then the seam allowance on this particular jacket only, I do the sleeve seam all one way out towards the cuffs so that it doesn't give bulk to your shoulders. And once you've done all that hand stitching, then it's time to attach the lining to the outer jacket. I'm just going to attach it along the front center seam, around the neckline, and then down the front center seam again. This is me attempting to show you that I've pinned them together on those 3 areas, the front center, around the neckline, and down the front center of the other side. But because the lining, I've sewed up all the seams, and the outer jacket I've left it butterflied and open so that I can beat it flat, it's a little difficult to show you. So then I machine sewed it, and then I clip the curved and cut the corners of the front so that when I turned it out, it would sit flat. And then I've just pinned it where I need to sew it. And this is me showing you all the hand sewing that I have left to sew. And I've also pinned up the hems. So if you're not doing any beading, you don't need to do this. You can just bag line it, which means sewing everything and then just pulling it out the sleeve. But yeah, I had to do it by hand so that I would be able to butterfly it, like lay it flat and do the beading. So now the jacket's done, I'm just going to pin it together so I can show it to you on the mannequin. And these jackets are still on the sideboard, so I will take the beige one off. I love the beige one. Here it is. So because I used 2 layers of netting on the structural layer, and the sleeves are much shorter than they were on the daisy jacket, they sort of stick out. So then I pinned 2 heavy beads to each of the sleeves to make them sit like once they're beaded, the sleeves will sit properly. But because they're not beaded yet, they're not sitting right. So that's why I added the weight of those extra heavy beads. It'll look like that once they're beaded. And here we go. So the daisy one was the last version, and the lobster one is this version. I think I got a bit carried away in cutting excess off the front center. I think in the next version is this golden satin oriental jacquard that I've got. So I think I'll add a little bit back more and sort of split the difference between these 2 jackets. I do like this lobster one. I think it's quite cute, but I also like a fuller front in the jacket because the beading is so amazing. You might as well have it shown. And if you cut too much off the front center of the jackets, then you can't really see the beading, which I think is a shame. So the back, again, I kind of have to wait until after it's beaded, got the beaded weight on it. But I think next time with the golden one, I'll probably split the difference again. I do like the back of this lobster one. I think it looks really, really flattering. But I also like the curve of the daisy one. So the lack of ease in the lobster one, I like how fitted it is, but I don't like the sleeves either. I like, yeah, it's weirdly enough, I think these really cropped bolero jackets look better with those almost bat wing sleeves. So I think the next time I'll go back to the long, full, flappy sleeves. But I'm glad I tried this though. And it might look better when it's beaded anyway. So yes, again, this is the beading that I've got to do next. So yeah, I scrounged around and I've got just enough beads now, which is good. I think I've got 20 extra actually. So those are the beads, and this is vaguely what I plan to have it look like. But yeah, those ones that look sort of greyish, they're actually a mauve, and in person they blend in much better, but the camera sort of makes it look like there's more of a contrast than there actually is. So yeah, I really like the turtle ones and the whales and the dolphins. I know the giraffes don't really go, but you know, what else am I ever going to use these beads on? So I will use them on this. I might use the marine animals on the front perhaps, and then save the other ones for the back. Or maybe, I don't know, I think it's cute having a mix. Anyway, so yeah, and I really love these big tomato beads. I don't know what I'm going to use them on. Oh, this is the golden, so it's got some woven patterns in there, therefore it is technically a jacquard, but or a brocade, but yeah, that's the one fabric I'm going to use next. I'll make a different jacket pattern next, but the next version of this, Simplicity 9124, will be out of that fabric. It has goldfish on it. I don't think I have any fish beads left. I had those brass ones, but I think I used them on the Tempest, the last of them on the Tempest jacket. So I think the original version of the Simplicity S9124 that I made had golden fabric, and then the Chelsea Flower Show Liberty fabric on the other side. That one on the right is the second one that I made. And then I made the Daisy one and now the Lobster one. There's elements of each that I like. Now I'm sort of gone back to the long sleeves and I like them. The reason I keep chopping and changing, being seemingly so indecisive, is that I'm trying to work out, because I really like quilting cottons, like the Daisy one and the Lobster one are quilting cottons, which is much thinner than a fashion fabric. And yeah, so I want to work out a bolero jacket that I can make with just 1 yard or 1 meter of quilting cotton, because obviously quilting cotton is cotton, so you have to pre-wash it before you can turn it into something, whereas tweeds, they wash them at the mill after they make them, and synthetic fabrics, you don't really have to wash them because they're not going to shrink. They're always just going to be dry clean only. So yeah, so I'm trying to find a bolero jacket pattern or draft one that uses almost exactly 1 yard of fabric. So I like the back of this Lobster one, but I still think it looks nicer with a curve, and I think I'll make the sleeves longer because I do think they work better when they're longer. I like the sides the way they are now on this Lobster one, but I think the sides will look better with the longer sleeve also. Oh, and I've got these heart-shaped beads, faceted heart-shaped beads, and I'm thinking of dangling them down off seed beads of matching colours. Anyway, so yeah, I had nowhere to stab them into, so that's why they're in the manic at the moment. But yeah, I like this one, but I think I want the front centres of the jacket to meet in the middle, just because, yeah, the beading is why I do these jackets. So yeah, if you don't have the centre front bit of the jacket, it's kind of like that's where the beading is most obvious. So yeah, I think I'll bring the centre front back a bit. But yeah, so I'll finish the beading on this one and then we'll see what it looks like. But I think those are the changes I'm going to make to the golden one. But I think the next jacket you see will be me doing mock-ups of jacket patterns I haven't used before, because I want to squeeze a few more of those in before the end of the year. Anyway, that is it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed me finally getting around to using my Lobster fabric. It really does look better with the t-shirt on the mannequin, doesn't it? So yeah, I wish I've got enough leftover fabric to make a little bag, which I guess is good, but I kind of wish I'd used it to make longer sleeves on this jacket. They would have been very cute. But then I had to really scrounge around to find enough beads. So anyway, I will bead it and we'll see what it looks like when it's done. Thanks again for watching, and happy sewing and beading. I'm finally going to use up those animal beads. This is so fabulous.